Hello, welcome back everyone. Mr. V here again. Now I'm going to show you just a short video on you can choose whether to play with a pick or with Picado, which is using your first two fingers of your right hand, kind of walking on the strings. And I'll change the camera angle in a few seconds to show you how this works. You can choose whatever you want. I use actually both. If I want to be a little bit more aggressive with my guitar playing, I'll actually use the pick sound because it projects the sound a little bit more. If I'm playing with a little bit more subdued sound, if I want to do arpeggio playing, I'll be playing with my fingers. So it gives it more of a gentle sound. So you can choose. You can also play the same type of sound with a pick by just playing the pick up and down too. So you can play both. I mean, so you have to choose your method that you like to do the best. So when you play a pick, I'm going to change the camera here so you can see my strings. So when you're using a pick, you notice the pick, if you've never done it, used it before, it's like a teardrop. There's a point on there, and then it also has kind of a flat bottom here. So you can hold it any way you want to as far as your hand position. If you get 10 guitar players in here, they will tell you 10 different ways. The most common way is to hold it between the first two fingers and the thumb, and just hold it right there on the flat bottom part. And depending on what kind of action you want, you can have a bigger area to strum the strings or even smaller. Some people will curve their finger and then they'll put the pick on their knuckle like that and just have a tiny little bit sticking out. And that's fine too. So if you want to just one string at a time. I kind of use a combination of this on my fingertips when I'm playing chords. So anyway, you choose what you'd like to do. If you're going to use a pick, one thing to remember when you're playing chords is when you strum, you're going to have the pick point facing towards the ceiling when you play. That way your pick glides off the strings. If you have it going straight into your guitar, you get kind of a funky, chunky sound. And if you have it facing towards the floor, well, you can see what happens. It gets stuck on the strings. So on a downstroke, you're going to have your pick point facing the ceiling. When you come back up, you're going to rotate that wrist so your point is facing towards the floor. And again, for the same idea, so that way the pick just glides off the strings. If you forget to rotate, as soon as you come up, your pick is going to get stuck under the strings and it's going to flip inside your guitar. All right, so if I'm playing, you can see I'm rotating the wrist up and down like that. All right, so now that's one way. The other way is called Picado, and that's more of a classical or Spanish style, and that's where you use these two fingers, your first finger and your second finger. And you're going to play, for example, if you're playing single notes. All right, I know you can't see it over there. Let me change my thing here. Okay, I'll walk you through how to play it. First of all, you're going to place your thumb rested on the low E string. And then you're going to play one finger at a time like you're walking. You're just using these two. Don't use fingers 3 and 4 on this one. Just let them kind of float to the side. And then what you're going to do is you're going to press on your high E string, for example, and you're going to push towards your guitar. I notice how I'm landing on the B string, and I'm just resting there. I'm not going to go like this. I'm not plucking out. Okay, you're going to push the string, and you're just going to let your finger glide off your string. If this is the string, it's just going to glide off, just like that. You're not pulling, you're gliding off. So you let it go, it rests on there, and then the second finger goes on there again. And notice how I lifted this one up to get out of the way. So it is a technique that takes a few minutes to kind of get used to. You'll be kind of going all over the place at first, and that's very common, so did I, but you'll get it. Now, one more thing. If you really want to go traditional, classical, or Spanish style, you're going to want to grow your fingernails a little bit, not like super long, but grow them a little bit on the right hand. So that way the string actually goes and it goes right between where your flesh of your finger and your fingernail are. And so you're going to actually pluck the string. See if I can find that. If you're going to pluck the string with your fingernail. And so your fingernails actually become the picks. It's kind of like gluing a pick to your finger, and then you'll be able to. I'm just holding it on, right? But that way you can use the fingernail as a pick. I'm going to also share with you a video by a friend of mine. His name is John Clark, and he's going to show you how to do that Picado style too. Watch his fingernails. His are a little bit longer because he's a professional guitar player, and he uses his fingernails to pluck the strings. I like to keep my fingernails short, so I actually use the fleshy part right here and just kind of glide my finger off the string. All right, so there you go. Pick, it's just fine. You can use that pick to do single notes. You can go downstroke. Here, let me show you what I'm doing. So for me, as you can tell, I like to use my fingers because I can feel the strings, and that way it's a different sound, but I can feel where I'm at, kind of like playing piano. You can feel where you're at, other than a pick. You choose the best one that works for you, and there you go. All right, so practice this technique, whether picado or with a pick, just to get kind of used to that. It's a little short little motion, isn't it? So you choose the best one, or even practice both, and then I'll see you in the next video where we'll start to play.